Commander Elena Vasquez grips her command chair as another human outpost vanishes from the tactical display. The alien Concordium warships slice through Earth's defenses with ruthless efficiency. 3 years of desperate warfare has pushed humanity to the brink of extinction. Outpost Callisto is gone. Commander Lieutenant Park reports, his voice hollow. 30,000 civilians. No evacuation pods detected. Elena nods, her face betraying nothing. Inside, a familiar rage burns, but she cannot afford to let it consume her. Not here. Not now. What remains of the Fifth Fleet? 3 damaged cruisers and her flagship, the UES Indomitable, maintains position above Europa, Jupiter's icy moon and humanity's last significant outpost in the outer system. Status of the Concordium fleet, she asks. 17 warships approaching, ma'am. Estimated time to engagement, 12 minutes. The bridge falls silent. They all know the math. 4 against 17. The end of another human stronghold. Commander, Dr. Kenzo Nakamura's voice breaks through the tension. The science officer hunches over his station, eyes wide. I'm detecting unusual energy signatures beneath Europa's surface. Depth approximately 2 kilometers. Elena moves to his station, grateful for any distraction from their impending doom. Natural phenomenon. Negative. These are organized energy patterns, quantum fluctuations with precise intervals. Nakamura's fingers dance across the console. And there's something else. The patterns match fragments of data in our oldest archives, myths about the sleeping ships from pre-colonial Earth. You're suggesting we found ancient technology? Elena asks, skepticism evident. I'm suggesting we found something that shouldn't exist. Nakamura looks up, his eyes bright with possibility. And whatever it is, it's activating. Energy levels have increased 300% since we entered orbit. A tactical alert cuts through their conversation. Commander, Lieutenant Park calls out. Concordium vessels have accelerated. New ETA, 7 minutes. Elena stares at the blips on the tactical display, then at the mysterious energy readings. 3 years of retreating, of watching Earth's colonies fall one by one. 3 years of funerals and last stands. Prepare a drop team, she orders. Dr. Nakamura, you're with them. I want eyes on whatever's down there. Ma'am, her XO, Commander Rivera, steps closer, lowering his voice. We can't hold off 17 ships. If we divert resources to a ground mission, then we die a few minutes sooner, Elena finishes for him. But if there's even a chance of finding something that could turn this war around, I'm taking it. Orders cascade through the ship. Within minutes, a team assembles in the drop bay. Nakamura, Lieutenant Chen from engineering, and a squad of Marines led by Sergeant Jackson. The Indomitable will draw their fire, Elena tells them over the comm as they board the drop shuttle. Get down there, find whatever's causing those readings, and report back. If we're still here. The shuttle launches, skimming low across Europa's fractured ice plains. Above them, the Indomitable and its 3 companions move into an aggressive formation, a suicidal charge against overwhelming odds. As the first Concordium energy beams slash across space, Elena watches the shuttle disappear into Europa's atmosphere. She brings up tactical on her command interface and begins plotting intercept courses. All ships, this is Commander Vasquez. Prepare for combat maneuvers. She pauses, watching the enemy formation. Let's make this one count. The Indomitable surges forward, its engines burning bright as a newborn star. In the vast darkness above Europa, humanity's last warships rush to meet their enemy, buying time with the only currency they have left. 2 kilometers beneath Europa's surface, the exploration team discovers an impossibly vast chamber carved into the ice and rock. Their flashlights reveal hundreds of sleek obsidian vessels suspended in crystalline docks, their hulls absorbing all light. This can't be possible, Lieutenant Sonia Chen whispers, her breath fogging in the chamber's frigid air. These structures would predate human spaceflight by millennia. Dr. Nakamura runs his scanner over the nearest vessel. It resembles a predatory fish, all smooth curves and lethal intent, roughly the size of a small destroyer. Unlike human ships with their exposed engines and weapon mounts, these vessels appear seamless, their black surfaces unmarred by visible technology. The dating confirms it, Nakamura says, his voice trembling with excitement. These ships are approximately 15,000 years old, from a time when humans were barely forming agricultural societies on Earth. Sergeant Jackson signals her Marines to establish a perimeter. I don't care if they're 1,000,000 years old. Can they help us fight? A distant rumble shakes ice particles from the ceiling. Above them, the battle rages. Each tremor might signal another human ship lost. These aren't alien, Chen says, approaching one of the vessels. The design principles are human, just evolved. She reaches out tentatively. Lieutenant, I wouldn't. Nakamura begins. Chen's fingertips touch the obsidian hull. The ship responds instantly. A violet light traces her hand's outline, then spreads in geometric patterns across the vessel's surface. The chamber hums with awakening power. It recognized your touch, Nakamura breathes. A genetic key, perhaps. The team pushes deeper into the chamber, following a central pathway between rows of suspended ships. They arrive at what can only be a command hub, a circular platform surrounded by curved walls covered in glyphs. These symbols, Nakamura says, scanning them with his device. They're Proto-Indo-European in structure, but with mathematical elements I've never seen before. He works feverishly, translating segments while Chen examines a pedestal at the center of the platform. The pedestal bears a handprint indentation, glowing with the same violet energy. Some kind of activation mechanism, Chen suggests. A massive impact rocks the chamber. Ice fractures along the distant ceiling. That was close, Jackson says, checking her tactical display. The Concordium are landing dropships. We have company coming. Nakamura's translation program chimes. I've got something, he announces. The Black Armada stands vigilant through the long night. We await the touch of the Star Children to rise again. Black Armada. Chen repeats, looking up at the hanging ships. That's what they called themselves. Another explosion, closer this time. Jackson's comm crackles with panicked reports from her perimeter team. Doctor, whatever you're doing, do it faster. We've got Concordium troops breaching the upper levels. Nakamura continues translating. The system requires genetic verification, a specific marker found in certain bloodlines. How specific? Jackson demands. 1 in 1,000 humans might carry it. The odds of any of us. Try anyway, Jackson interrupts, readying her weapon. We're out of options. One by one, they press their palms to the pedestal. Nothing happens until Chen takes her turn. The pedestal flares brilliantly, and the entire chamber transforms. Darkness gives way to light as hidden systems activate throughout the vast space. A holographic figure materializes before them, a woman in ancient military dress, her expression stern and watchful. Genetic verification accepted, she announces in perfect, unaccented English. Black Armada activation sequence initiated. I am Admiral Thera, guardian of humanity's legacy, the holographic woman announces. Her uniform bears no resemblance to any military in human history, sleek and form-fitting with geometric patterns that pulse with energy. The enemy has returned. The Black Armada awakens. Ken steps back stunned. How are you speaking our language? I am not, Admiral Thera replies. The neural interface is translating directly to your mind. Nakamura's scanner confirms it. No audible sound emanates from the hologram. They're hearing her voice directly in their thoughts. We don't have time for this, Jackson says as another explosion rocks the chamber. Concordium forces will breach this level in minutes. We need to contact Commander Vasquez. Your surface battle is already lost, Admiral Thera states with cold certainty. 3 of your vessels have been destroyed. The 4th is surrounded. Chen activates her comm. Commander Vasquez, do you copy? Static answers her. The ice is blocking transmission. The hologram waves a hand, and a three-dimensional tactical display materializes, showing the space above Europa. The UES Indomitable drifts, its engines dark, surrounded by Concordium warships. Your commander lives, but her ship is crippled, Admiral Thera observes. Fortunately, she carries the awakening sequence in her blood, more strongly than any of you. What are you talking about? Nakamura demands. What awakening sequence? Humanity's true history was hidden to protect you, the hologram explains. 15,000 years ago, we ruled the stars. Our civilization spanned 1,000 worlds. The chamber trembles again. Closer this time. Sergeant, they've breached level 3. A Marine's voice crackles through Jackson's comm. Fall back to our position, Jackson orders. To Thera, she says, skip the history lesson. Can these ships fly? Can they fight? They were built for nothing else, Admiral Thera responds. But they require pilots with the genetic marker. Your Lieutenant Chen has activated the systems, but her marker is too weak to fully command the vessels. A wall of the chamber explodes inward. Concordium troops pour through the breach, insectoid forms in gleaming armor, their multifaceted eyes reflecting the chamber's lights. Jackson and her Marines open fire immediately. Get to cover. Jackson shouts as energy weapons return fire. Chen and Nakamura scramble behind a console as plasma bolts sear the air around them. 3 Marines fall in the first exchange. We need to get to the commander, Chen says, ducking as a shot passes overhead. If she has this genetic marker, you will not survive to reach the surface, Admiral Thera interrupts, her hologram undisturbed by the battle. I can bring her here. The hologram gestures, and the central pedestal transforms, expanding into a circular platform ringed with violet energy. What are you doing? Nakamura asks. Quantum entanglement transportation. Your commander's DNA resonates with our technology. I can lock onto her pattern and bring her directly to this chamber. The battle intensifies. Jackson loses another Marine as the Concordium advance methodically through the chamber. Do it, Chen shouts. The platform erupts with blinding light. When it fades, Commander Elena Vasquez stands at its center, her uniform torn and bloodied, a look of utter disbelief on her face. What the hell? She begins. Admiral Thera's hologram approaches her. Commander Elena Vasquez, your genetic signature bears the royal marker. You are a direct descendant of the High Admiralty. Elena stares at the hologram, then at her surroundings. My ship, my crew, is lost, Thera states, but you now command the Black Armada, if you choose to accept your birthright. Birthright? Elena casts a disbelieving glance around the chamber, taking in the firefight between Jackson's Marines and the advancing Concordium. I don't have time for riddles. My crew is dying up there. Most are already dead, Admiral Thera states flatly. Accept command or humanity falls. Choose now. Another Marine crumples under Concordium fire. Jackson and her remaining soldiers retreat toward the central platform, laying down suppressive fire. Fine, Elena says through gritted teeth. I accept command. Now what? The chamber resonates with her words. Crystalline structures throughout the vast space pulse with violet light. Admiral Thera's hologram smiles for the first time. Neural interface activating, she announces. Prepare yourself, Commander. Before Elena can respond, tendrils of light extend from the platform beneath her feet, wrapping around her body. She gasps as knowledge floods her consciousness. Star charts, tactical systems, weapons capabilities, quantum physics beyond anything humanity has achieved. Commander, Dr. Nakamura reaches for her, but Chen holds him back. Look, Chen whispers, pointing toward the chamber entrance. As the Concordium troops push forward, sleek defense turrets emerge from the walls. They fire weapons unlike anything the humans have seen, beams that don't so much destroy as simply erase. Where they touch, Concordium soldiers cease to exist, vanishing in flashes of white light. Within seconds, the alien advance halts. The survivors retreat in disarray. Elena stands transformed at the center of the platform, her eyes glowing with the same violet light that permeates the chamber. Information continues to pour into her mind: ship schematics, neural command protocols, quantum entanglement drives. "This is impossible," she murmurs. "Humanity never built this technology." "But we did," Admiral Thera corrects her. "Your ancestors, the true human civilization, created technologies your current scientists cannot comprehend. Before the Great Fall." Through the neural interface, Alina sees flashes of humanity's true history: a vast stellar empire, technological marvels, and then a terrible enemy that arrived from between the stars. The war that followed nearly ended human existence. The Void Architects, Elena whispers, the name coming to her through the interface. "They nearly destroyed us." "Yes," Thera confirms. To preserve what remained of humanity, the High Admiralty made a desperate choice. They hid their most advanced technology in caches throughout the solar system and erased knowledge of our true history from survivor memories. Humanity began again on Earth, allowed to evolve naturally until the day the legacy would be needed. Alina's mind expands further as the interface completes its work. She now understands how to pilot the Black Armada vessels, how their weapons function, how their impossible drives bend reality itself. The Concordium, she realizes with sudden clarity. There. Connected to our ancient enemy, yes, Thera confirms. They were created by the Void Architects as living weapons, programmed with one imperative that survived across millennia: prevent humanity from ever reaching the stars again. A shudder runs through the chamber as orbital bombardment intensifies. The Concordium, having lost their ground force, are attempting to destroy the entire chamber from orbit. "The shields will hold for now," Thera assures them. "But we must act quickly. Commander, you must select your first officers. They too will receive the interface." Alina turns to the survivors: Chen, Nakamura, and Jackson. "I need all of you. Will you accept the neural interface?" Jackson checks her weapon. "If it helps us kill those bugs, I'm in." "The knowledge we'll gain," Nakamura breathes. "How could I refuse?" Chen simply nods, her eyes fixed on the suspended ships above them. "Then it's settled," Elena says, feeling the weight of 15,000 years of heritage settling on her shoulders. "Prepare your minds. We're going to war." 5 ships of the Black Armada rise from Europa's shattered ice, their midnight hulls flowing like liquid shadow against the stark white landscape. Elena commands the flagship, christened Nemesis in the ancient records. Through her neural link, she feels the vessel as an extension of her own body. Every system, every weapon, every quantum particle that comprises its impossible structure. Neural connection stable. Chen reports from her position aboard the Vengeance. Like Elena, she pilots her vessel through thought alone, her consciousness expanded by the interface. All ships reporting readiness. In orbital space above Europa, the Concordium fleet has arranged itself in attack formation. 17 capital ships, each bristling with conventional weaponry, prepare to finish what they believe is a simple cleanup operation. They have no idea what's coming, Jackson observes from her position as weapons officer aboard the Nemesis. The neural interface has given her intimate knowledge of systems that shouldn't exist: quantum singularity cannons, reality phase torpedoes, dimensional fold projectors. "That works to our advantage," Elena replies. "Dr. Nakamura, status of the shield envelope." Nakamura, serving as science officer, monitors defensive systems, operating at full capacity. "Commander, these shields don't just block energy, they redirect it into our power reserves. The more they fire in us, the stronger we become." Elena allows herself a small smile. "Then let's introduce ourselves." The 5 Black Armada vessels accelerate with impossible speed, bypassing conventional physics. They don't so much fly as simply reposition themselves through spacetime, appearing directly among the surprised Concordium fleet. "All ships, weapons free," Elena commands. "Target engines and weapon systems only. I want prisoners to interrogate." The Black Armada strikes with surgical precision. The Nemesis phases partially through a Concordium cruiser, its hull momentarily coexisting in the same space as the alien vessel. As they separate, the cruiser's weapon arrays simply vanish, removed from reality with molecular precision. Across the battlefield, the other Armada ships perform equally impossible feats. The Vengeance splits into 3 identical copies, each attacking a different target before recombining. The Retribution bends weapon fire back upon the ships that launched it. The Justice and Mercy work in tandem, creating a localized time dilation field that traps 4 Concordium destroyers in a moment of extended present. Their communication channels are in chaos. Nakamura reports, monitoring intercepted transmissions. They've never encountered technology like this. A Concordium dreadnought, the pride of their fleet, moves to engage the Nemesis directly. Its main cannon charges, gathering enough energy to shatter a small moon. Incoming fire, Jackson warns. Elena doesn't evade. Instead, she opens the Nemesis to receive the attack. Absorption fields at maximum. The dreadnought fires. A lance of destructive energy engulfs the Nemesis completely. For a moment, the black Armada vessel disappears within the blinding light. When the beam fades, the Nemesis remains untouched, a corona of violet energy surrounding its obsidian hull. Power reserves at 200% capacity, Nakamura announces. They just gave us enough energy to power the dimensional fold projector. Target their flagship, Elena orders. Let's show them what humanity is capable of. The Nemesis reconfigures, parts of its structure folding through dimensions human eyes cannot perceive. A sphere of absolute darkness forms at its bow, a contained rupture in spacetime itself. When it releases, the Concordium flagship doesn't explode. It simply splits perfectly in half without violence, its atoms parting ways along a perfect line, the 2 halves drifting silently apart. Within 20 minutes, the battle ends. The surviving Concordium vessels retreat in disarray, jumping to faster-than-light travel with no discernible formation. We did it! Chen's voice comes through the neural link, tinged with disbelief. We actually defeated them. Not defeated. Elena corrects, studying the tactical display where Concordium signals flash at the edge of the system. We've only surprised them. They'll be back with everything they have. The Concordium will return with their full invasion force. Admiral Thera's hologram states as Elena and her officers convene in the Nemesis's command chamber. The room defies conventional design. Walls flowing like liquid obsidian, displays appearing and vanishing as needed. Our victory has only accelerated their timetable. Then we need more ships, Elena says, studying the strategic display hovering before her. 5 vessels won't be enough against their main fleet. Fortunately, Europa is just one of 7 catches, Thera reveals, gesturing to expand the solar system map. Glowing points appear on Mars, Venus, Titan, Enceladus, Pluto, and in the asteroid belt. Each contains hundreds more ships of the Black Armada awaiting activation, all requiring the genetic marker, Nakamura observes, which is rare among current humans. Thera nods. The royal bloodlines were deliberately scattered and diluted to protect the legacy. We estimated 1 in 1,000 humans might carry the marker in some form. Elena calculates quickly. Earth's military forces number in the millions. If the ratio holds, we could potentially activate thousands of ships. Assuming we can reach these catches before the Concordium does, Jackson cautions. They'll target these locations once they understand what we found. Elena turns to Chen. Lieutenant, I need you to compile everything in our personnel databases, genetic screenings, medical records, family histories. Find me every human who might carry the marker. Already on it, Commander, Chen responds, her eyes distant as she interfaces directly with the ship's systems. I'm detecting 315 probable carriers in Earth's orbital defense forces, 62 among the Mars colonial militia. Excellent, Elena says. Our next step is to dispatch teams to each cache. We need those ships active before the Concordium returns. As her officers set to work, Elena delves deeper into the neural archives, seeking to understand their enemy better. Through the interface, she accesses historical records spanning millennia. Humanity's rise to stellar dominance, their encounter with the Void Architects, and the devastating war that followed. The truth stuns her. The Void Architects weren't simply aliens, they were entities that fed on evolutionary potential, harvesting promising species before they could become rivals. Humanity had fought back, nearly winning before a final devastating attack forced them into hiding. Most shocking of all, she learns the truth about the Conquerium. They were once human cousins, a colony captured and genetically modified by the Void Architects, bioengineered for war and programmed with one imperative: hunt down and destroy true humanity before it could rise again. Thereus, Elena whispers, the realization washing over her. Twisted and weaponized against their own kind. Admiral Thera's hologram appears beside her. Yes, the cruelest weapon is one made from your own flesh. Can they be saved? Elena asks. Deprogrammed somehow. Perhaps, Thera admits. The original Admiralty developed theoretical countermeasures, but they never had the chance to implement them. Elena's focus shifts to the tactical display, where Chen has identified the first team of genetic carriers ready for deployment. Most are stunned survivors from the Europa battle, still struggling to comprehend what they've discovered. Begin neural interface training immediately, Elena orders. I want teams ready for the Mars and Venus catches within 24 hours. A proximity alert flashes through the neural link. Nakamura's voice follows instantly. Commander, we're detecting quantum disturbances at the edge of the system. The Concordium fleet is returning, and they've brought reinforcements. The display updates, showing hundreds of incoming vessels, far more than their previous encounter. How long until they reach Jupiter? Elena asks. At current velocity, 3 days, Nakamura responds. Elena straightens, decision made. Then we have 3 days to awaken the rest of the Black Armada. The Concordium returns with their entire armada, over 3,000 ships darkening Earth's orbit. Humanity responds with 7 fleets of the Black Armada, rising from their ancient slumber across the solar system. 3 days have become 3 weeks. The Concordium, wary after their defeat at Europa, had moved more cautiously than anticipated, giving Elena precious time. Teams dispatched to Mars, Venus, and the asteroid belt had successfully activated those catches. The missions to Titan, Enceladus, and Pluto had faced Concordium interference, but managed to awaken most vessels before retreating. 1,512 ships operational. Nakamura reports from his position in the Command Nexus, a space that exists partially outside conventional dimensions. All crew with carriers of the genetic marker. Most crews are inexperienced, having received neural interface training for mere days instead of the years normally required. But the interface compensates, providing instinctive knowledge of systems beyond human comprehension. The Concordium are deploying in a spherical formation around Earth, Chen observes, monitoring tactical feeds. They're expecting us to emerge from multiple vectors. Then let's not disappoint them, Elena responds. Through the neural network linking all Black Armada vessels, she addresses her commanders. All fleets prepare for dimensional translation. Target coordinates are locked. Remember your training. The ships will guide you. One by one, the 7 fleets of the Black Armada shift into higher dimensional space, briefly existing outside conventional reality before reappearing throughout the Concordium formation. The battle that follows defies description in human language. Black Armada vessels phase through enemy fire, appearing simultaneously in multiple locations, their weapons tearing reality itself. Concordian ships respond with suicidal determination, some deliberately overloading their reactors when boarded, their crews enslaved to programming they cannot resist. Aboard the Nemesis, Elena dives deeper into her neural interface than ever before. The ship responds, its systems reconfiguring in ways even Admiral Thera's AI hadn't predicted. As 3 Concordium dreadnoughts converge on her position, Elena accesses weapons systems that had been locked away, quantum forge cannons that don't destroy enemy ships but rewrite their fundamental structure. New targeting parameters accepted, Jackson announces, surprise evident in her voice. Commander, what are you doing? Testing a theory, Elena replies. As the Concordium command vessel opens fire, she launches her counterstrike. A beam of pure mathematical potential engulfs the enemy flagship. Instead of destruction, its systems transform, reconfiguring at the quantum level. Throughout the vessel, implanted control nodes disintegrate, freeing the crew from millennia of programming. It's working, Elena breathes. Target the remaining command ships. Priority on vessels with the highest concentration of control personnel. Across the battlefield, the pattern repeats. Black Armada vessels target Concordium command ships with the newly unlocked technology. Some are destroyed by their own fleet when they cease firing on human vessels. Others manage to broadcast confusion before being silenced. In the command nexus, Admiral Thera's hologram observes with what might be pride. You've rediscovered what the original Admiralty theorized, but never implemented. The Quantum Forge was designed to free our captured kin, not destroy them. Not all can be saved, Elena acknowledges grimly as reports flow in. Many Concordium ships fire on, their conditioning too deep to break. Others turn their weapons against former allies, creating chaos in the alien formation. The battle above Earth reaches its crescendo when 7 Concordium dreadnoughts, freed from their programming, position themselves between Earth and the remaining enemy fleet. Their captain's voice, harsh and alien yet undeniably human in its determination, broadcasts on all frequencies. We remember who we were. We remember what was stolen from us. Brothers and sisters of the Black Armada, we stand with you against our enslavers. Elena leads the liberated Concordium commanders and the Black Armada to the heart of enemy space. Their mission shifts from conquest to salvation. The battle for Earth has been won, but the war continues on a new front. The Void Architect control nodes are buried beneath the surface of each major Concordium world. Admiral Thera explains as Elena studies the star charts of Concordium territory. These machines have been subtly directing Concordium evolution and society for thousands of years. How many worlds? Elena asks. 7 primary nodes on 7 worlds, Thera responds. Each must be neutralized to fully free the Concordium population. The combined fleet of Black Armada vessels and liberated Concordium ships emerges from dimensional translation above Concordium Prime, their homeworld. They face immediate resistance, automated defense systems and ships crewed by Concordium still bound to their programming. All ships, defensive formation, Elena orders. Remember our mission. We're here to save these people, not destroy them. The Black Armada vessels create a protective envelope around the liberated Concordium ships as they descend toward the planet. On the surface, resistance is fierce. The control nodes, sensing the threat, activate contingency protocols. Millions of Concordium citizens turn hostile, their dormant programming suddenly active. The nodes are accelerating their control, Nakamura warns. If we don't neutralize them quickly, we'll lose our window. Ground teams deploy to each target, comprising both human and liberated Concordium soldiers. Elena leads the assault on the primary node beneath the sacred mountain of the Concordium homeworld. This architecture, remarks Krell, a freed Concordium commander fighting alongside Elena. It resonates with something in my genetic memory. I know this place, though I have never been here. The central chamber of the control node reveals the ultimate truth, a vast machine of impossible complexity, built not with metal but with crystallized thought. At its heart, a pulsing core that broadcasts the subtle commands keeping the Concordium enslaved. The nullification codes are ready, Chen reports through the neural link. She and Nakamura have adapted the quantum forge technology for ground deployment. Proceed, Elena orders. As the codes activate, the control node's defenses trigger. Reality itself seems to warp as the ancient machine fights for survival. Elena and her team hold their ground as waves of energy wash over them, testing the limits of their advanced shielding. The node shatters with a soundless implosion, its influence evaporating from the surrounding area. Across the neural network, Elena receives confirmation. All 7 nodes have been neutralized simultaneously. On the surface of Concordium Prime, millions of citizens stand motionless as millennia of programming dissolve. Then come the screams, not of pain but of horrified realization. They remember what they once were. They see what they have become. They understand what they have done. The transition will be difficult for them, Krell observes solemnly. To awaken and find yourself the monster of your own nightmares. In the days that follow, the liberated Concordium begin the painful process of reclaiming their identity. Elena oversees the formation of a joint council, humans and Concordium working together to heal ancient wounds. Within the deepest chamber of the primary control node, they discover a final message from the Void Architects, intended never to be found. The experiment continues. The human strain proves resilient. When purification fails, isolation may succeed. We retreat beyond the galactic rim to observe. When the quarantine is broken, we shall return. Admiral Thera's hologram appears beside Elena as she reads the message. The Void Architects merely retreated. They will return when they sense their pawns have failed. Elena looks up at the stars visible through the destroyed ceiling of the ancient chamber. Then we'll be waiting, she says, not as separate species, but as one humanity, reclaiming our rightful place among the stars. Across the galaxy, the awakening continues. Humanity and Concordium prepare together for the greater war to come, their combined fleets growing as more ancient catches are discovered. The Black Armada, once humanity's last hope, becomes the vanguard of a unified civilization determined never to fall again.